All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. I want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations unto the elect of Yahshua, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And blessings and salutations unto the hopefully elect, the Akim out there enduring his truth across the four corners of the earth, teaching and preaching through the spirit of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, in truth and sincerity, as well as the men and women that follow, and those who might look like the other nation, but are of the nation of Israel on your father's side by blood. And I just want to get into a quick lesson dealing with this article I ran across. It says, Republican warns real ID is being used to control Americans. Right now, as of May 7th, everybody is said to have a real ID in order to fly. There are other documents you can provide outside of that. Passport is one, and then I think it was traveler something. But those are other forms of identification you can use to travel. And it said, if not, well, actually, we'll get this real quick, okay? Because it says this is the AI overview. It says the Real ID Act passed in 2005. This is 20 years ago when it passed. It says mandates enhanced security standards for driver's license and identification cards, particularly those used for accessing federal facilities and domestic flights. A Real ID compliant license or identification card is required to board domestic flights and access certain federal facilities starting May 7th of 2025. If a traveler's state-issued ID is not Real ID compliant, they can use other acceptable forms of identification such as a U.S. passport or trusted traveler card. I'm going to try to breeze through these. And just to get a little bit more info on it, it says key aspects of the Real ID Act increase security. The act aims to enhance the security of identification documents by establishing minimum security standards for their issuance. Also, federal agencies, including the TSA, are required to accept Real ID compliant identification for certain purposes such as boarding domestic flights and accessing federal facilities. It says the states pretty much got to do their part. These are the different forms that will be accepted: DHS, trusted traveler's card, and other federal IDs. Final deadlines May 7th. It says consequences of non-compliance. After the deadline, individuals without Real ID compliant identification or an acceptable alternative may face delays or additional security screening measures. So that's what it's saying right there. It's pretty much you might book this whole flight and, have to end up doing extra security screening and possibly your flight get delayed. So, pretty much, having this Real ID is just confirming you are who you say you are, in a sense, tighten up security. But nonetheless, notice around the time that it's coming, right? This is around the time where the MOTB is spoken about a lot more in the news, all right? Around the time of Third World War getting hot and heated, man. All right, around the time of Trump, pretty much, pissing on the whole world, basically, in a sense, with the tariff wars, So it's not ironic at all. It's not not ironic. It's not by chance at all. It's I would say it's well thought out, nonetheless. But at the end of the day, we definitely know what this is going to lead to. The MOTB, all right, which, hey, like the apostles said, we might sound like a broken record, but just think of it this way. 3 years ago, we wasn't talking about the MOTB as this much. 3 years before that, we wasn't talking about it as much as it then. And 3 years before that, and you can keep on going. All right? Because we're in those times now. That's what matters. You need to worry about why we talking about it so much, and not why, and instead of why we talking it so much about so much, if that makes sense. All right. So this is Revelations 13 and 14. It says in Salakia 13 and 16 says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now, we know this is predominantly speaking about the RFID chip, hands down. You know, you got your Neuralink dealing with Elon Musk, with it being in your forehead and things. At the end of the day, they want to put this technology in you to claim you as theirs, to mark you as theirs, okay? And we're, like I said once before, we're in those times, and notice they're talking about security. All right, because I want to get into this article a little bit now, just based off of some of the things she was saying. Okay, I'm not going to try to read it. Well, this is not too long. Let me see. They got the DMVs extending hours to help Americans obtain them, you know. It says, what to know. In a thread of messages on X, formerly Twitter, the congressman wrote on Saturday, real ID isn't needed and won't stop terrorists from hijacking planes. Most of the 9/11 hijackers held Saudi, UAE, Egyptian, and Lebanese passports. Real ID is a national standard and database of IDs that is primarily a tool for control of Americans. Trump shouldn't enforce it. Now, pretty much, notice what they're doing. They're mandating it. This is what you need to have in order to do this. All right. Which this is also conditioning. Okay. Because as we just read in Revelations 13 to 16, no man may buy or sell save he that hath the mark. So once again, they're restricting you from doing things if you're not compliant with their ways or with their order, with their system. Okay. And when that is really mandated and implemented, it's going to shake up a lot of people, because the scriptures speak about it being our temptation, man. Okay. But it also reminded me of another precept as well. Going over into 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, man. Let me see. Yep. Oh, it's blue. This is Revelation, Salakia, 2nd Ezra 15:17. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right? Because you're going to want to fly. All right. And then this is, like I said, this is just to fly. This is just to do certain things. And then what they'll do next is add on to the list, add more restrictions. All right. Then eventually, what you possibly won't be able to do nothing. Okay. But regardless, that RFID, MARK, that CHIP is definitely going to be mandated at a point in time. And it's definitely going to be a life or death situation, so to speak. All right. But this is another possibility of them keeping you from going into other cities. You know, we know that eventually martial law will have to be implemented based off of, due to prophecy, as well as, how they set up, checkpoints and stuff, how they can set up checkpoints and keep you in the city, or you got your 15-minute cities that they're doing so much, nonetheless, they're trying to get their plan across. But at the end of the day, they just going to fail, man. They're going to fail. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. All right. I mean, what's going to happen is what's supposed to happen, which is eventually that they're going to mandate that CHIP, man. Okay, but this stuff going on right here is just conditioning. All right, this type of stuff right here is just to get you warmed up to it. You know, putting that frog in that pot of water, not the boiling. You know, but just putting it in that warm water and heating it up slowly. All right. There was some more. You know, gave their opinion on it. Speaking about married women, it might be difficult for them because they was married and they gotta, you know, might have to change their name back or get these documents, so on and so forth. But nonetheless, you know, we'll see. You know, Lord willing, this thing just continues to speed up and continues to go. All right, we do understand through the spirit of YAHAWASHI that we are at the end of this thing. So, Lord willing, Lord willing, it rolls faster because what did it say? Nonetheless, regardless, it's gonna roll, you know. But Lord willing to just keep on speeding up, you know. Situation happened last year, about a year ago, and a year. When that date came around this year, I'm like, dang, it's been a year already, and it honestly do not feel like it's been a year, man. It honestly do not feel like it's been a year, but this is YAHAWASHI speeding up things for the elect's sake, man. All right, because no flesh will be saved, as the scripture speak about, because this man is doing all type of things. Okay, he got a whole plan to put you in servitude and enjoy the rest of the world, pretty much. Be able to go to different planets and live on different planets and tear that shit up too, because at the end of the day, he was blessed with the sword. So, you don't have the Midas touch, you know. He got the wicked touch. Everything he touches is get corrupted, man. All right. Hey, so with that, Lord willing, you was edified. Lord willing, we allowed to endure unto the end. Once again, I want to give all praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Shalom.